Hi, I'm Carly Sanchez, and this is my presentation on the dark side of the internet, a closer look at Tor. Before researching Tor, I didn't know much about it. I had heard it a few times on maybe some TV shows or people talking about it, but I really had no clue what it was about. So here we go. What is Tor? So Tor is a free software and an open network that helps you defend against traffic analysis. It's a form of network surveillance that threatens personal freedom and privacy, confidential business activities and relationships, and state security. So basically, traffic analysis is the process of intercepting and examining messages in order to deduce information from patterns in communication. It can be performed even when the messages are encrypted and cannot be decrypted. So Tor stands for the Onion Router. I didn't realize this is what it stands for when I started it, so I thought this was interesting. But after researching it, it made more sense. So the Onion Router, data on the Tor network is encrypted in layers, just like an onion, and moves around in the system of relays. This makes it difficult, but not impossible, to figure out what a specific individual is accessing. So it has all these different layers that it goes through. So it's hard to figure out where something is going and where something is being sent from. So where did this begin? So the history of Tor. It was created in the mid 1990s by the U.S. Naval Research Laboratory. Developed a way to route encrypted data through a network of computers placed around the world. So this was used for us to keep security. So the data was encrypted and was sent through a bunch of different computers, so they didn't know the origin or the destination of the data. But in 2002, Tor was released to the public. So it allowed the public to use this database. So how does Tor work? So Tor is run through a group of volunteer-operated servers. So the users employ this network by connecting through a series of virtual tunnels instead of making a direct connection. Therefore, it allows individuals and organizations to share information over public networks without compromising their their privacy. So people throughout the world help Tor by being one of these volunteer operated servers to help connect all these different connections. So why would you use Tor? So a reason why people use Tor is to keep websites from tracking them or their family. So prevention of somebody discovering where you are in your physical location, and also prevention of somebody discovering what sites you are visiting. So it's keeping everything private. It also can connect to sites that are blocked by a provider. So this helps a lot in with things like maybe at a school you're at and they don't allow you to connect to certain sites. You can use Tor to break through those connections. And then publish your site. So you can publish sites and other services without needing to reveal the location of the site. And there also is used for socially sensitive communication. So for people who have been involved in violent acts of crime and need somewhere to talk and don't feel comfortable on the internet because people can access this information, they go through Tor so people cannot discover where they are. So who actually uses Tor? So this is what I found most interesting, looking and see who actually uses Tor. So when I thought of Tor in the beginning, I only knew it through the underground marketplace shoppers on the dark web and the use of Tor. And that was what this project was about, was looking further into the dark web. So it's definitely used in dark web, but also journalists use it to keep from people knowing who they're talking to. Citizens in countries where internet access is heavily restricted. So in countries where they're not allowed to go on certain sites, Tor lets them bypass these limitations. Victims of violent crime, as I mentioned before, military and law enforcement still use it and then normal people. So normal people, when I was looking at the Tor website, it was saying normal people use it to protect their privacy, to protect communication from irresponsible corporations, to protect their children, to protect when they research sensitive topics, and to skirt around surveillance so they're not flagged for suspicious behavior. So after all this, I wanted to look a little bit further into the dark web portion of it, because this is what I kind of knew Tor from, and especially with our topic, this is what it made me think of, was diving into the dark web. So King's College London had a study, and it was based on, it said that 57% of the sites designed for Tor, known as onion sites, so these sites can only be accessed through a Tor browser. 57% of them facilitate criminal activity, including drugs, illicit finance, and extreme pornography that also had to do with child pornography, gun trading, and murder. These sites are the ones that are called, dark web or the deep web. So this study scraped the sites of Tor and just looked at all the onion sites, the ones that could only be accessed by the Tor browser, and found that there were 5,205 live sites, but only 2,723 could be classified. And out of those sites, 1,547 contained illicit and illegal material. So this graphic on the right kind of shows you what we see as the internet at the top, the surface web, what we use on a daily basis, and then underneath, the deep web, what we might use at some point, but not all the time, and then at the bottom, the dark web. So things that are more intense. Okay, so at the end of this, I really was thinking, like, should you use Tor? Because there's a lot of different things that kind of make it sound like you should. Even Forbes was saying that you should use Tor. So it depends on what level of privacy you are comfortable with. I saw an example that is if you have an embarrassing medical condition and you want to search for information about it, but you don't want Google or every advertiser to know about your bodily functions, Tor can help you keep that information private. So then you're not getting a bunch of advertisements or things like that for this medical issue or for something that has to do with it. So, I mean, that's something that is kind of seems like it would be kind of ridiculous to use Tor for, but maybe some people want to be that private. Tor can also protect your data from hackers on your network. It can get around firewalls and censorships. Tor is slow. So that's another reason why people don't like using it, is because it's a very slow network. It is probably overkill for a normal person. There are other options that you can use to get around advertisements and stuff. And then using Tor can even attract more attention to you, because even though the government might not know what you're doing, they know you're using Tor, so it seems like you're hiding something. Thank you. That's my presentation, and these are my references.